This is going to be so cool!
YouTubes. Damn. Damn, you can hear my shit, dude. This mic is fucking wild. I swear. New mic, new me. You know what I'm saying? It's better than my headphone mic, I think. If you hear a little rocking back and forth, that is my chair, I think. So, my bad. But it's been 6 months. I think it's a little bit time I came back. I make it sound like I'm a big ass YouTuber. I'm not. I'm only a little small little YouTube channel on the little internets. To be honest, I didn't think I was gonna make this video, to be honest. I low-key thought I wasn't gonna make another one for like a good while. Cause I wasn't even thinking about it. Thinking about it. Cause like YouTube is like my third priority, or fourth priority, cause it's college and work. My first priority, then homework, practicing my instruments, and then what else? And then it's YouTube, and like literally in that order. So it's not even my main priority. And what I've been doing in the past few months, exams, because I think I stopped making YouTube videos. At the end of last year, and exams at that point. I was on vacation for literally most of summer. At the end of the summer, I moved out of my first apartment. Like I was already moved out of my parents' house, but I was in my own apartment now, right? I had a roommate, obviously, but right, I had my own apartment. But it was like that shitty apartment. So that shitty first apartment. It's not good, but it's not bad either. So it's like you can't really complain. I'm in a better apartment with the same roommate because she's cool. She paid rent, so we're chilling, right? But other than that, I mean, yeah, I'm in my second year of college, and I'm still flowing, thriving. Hope you are too. I love y'all. I highly doubt this video is gonna get any views, cause I mean, I just don't expect to come back and then just get the same following I did. Sorry for blowing your ears if it does get loud. Turn it down, I guess, because this mic is picking up everything, and I'm still not used to this mic yet, so where I should have it. Other than that, video announcements, I guess I'll be uploading Sundays and Saturdays, hopefully, because I do things on those days too, every day now, so I might get a video out once a week, maybe, at most, maybe two, hopefully, like I did last year, but I don't know, I probably would have to get this, because I'm filming this now at 10 p.m. at night, so it's like I'm getting this in. I'm just kind of pushing this out. What else? Videos, GD videos. A lot of, if you're wondering about the GD videos, I feel like a lot of people on my fan base is from GD, so thank her for that as well. But I'll be reading her other stuff too, right? But she hasn't really done a lot of stuff that I've seen, because the last one I read was like 7 months ago, so even that was like before I even stopped making YouTube videos. So I mean, I'll still read some of her newer stuff, so but I want to read some other stuff, I want to voice some other stuff. Send me some recommendations, which ones I can voice, because I'm trying to be a voice actor, but real, I just want to see what other stuff is out there, kind of like the same format as GD's videos, or kind of the same, at least, comic style, something like that, something I can read. Maybe I can read moe, or or like manga stuff, like Solo Leveling and stuff before it became an anime, obviously, some of that stuff. But I wouldn't even know how to do that. I would feel like I would have to get it from an actual site and stuff. But anyways, before this intro drags on any longer, I gotta remind myself to put a timestamp on when people can skip. This video is John Solo, a very messed up original origins of the Pale Lady, scary stories to tell in the dark. Since it's a spooky month, and it's oh, before I fuck it up, let me check. Okay, it is October. I was about to say some dumb shit. Like, oh, it's September. Bitch, it was just September. But yeah, for the spooky month, I thought I would make a video about it. I was kind of, like I said, I didn't even think I was gonna make this video, But before this intro drags on, like I said, let's get into it. All credits in the description. Go check out his video. I'm gonna watch it all the way through. My bad. I'm watching it all the way through. Some people watch only half, but I'm checking out the whole thing. You know, head to his shop, all his links. You know, his podcast stuff. Go check that shit out. Go on him. Go check all his shit. Right? It's gone. I'm not gonna link all of it. I'm just gonna link the video, but go check out all his stuff. And if he has an editor, good job, editor. You deserve a raise. Good shit. Let's get into it.
Up in the 80s, 90s, or early 2000s, then chances are your sleep paralysis demon takes the form of a Stephen Gamble illustration. You know the ones I'm talking about. His art is one of the key reasons that the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark series became so wildly popular.
I'm lucky I don't have a sleep paralysis demon. I'm gonna knock on wood. Because I'm lucky I don't have that shit.
Among kids, in addition to containing some of the most haunting folk tales, myths, and legends the world has ever known. Gamble had an almost supernatural ability to take the most mundane subject matter and transform it into something that you'd see in your nightmares for weeks on end. Even something as simple as a little girl holding a baby can leave you feeling unsettled. With this in mind, I decided to post a poll last week asking you all which of these series' iconic monsters you'd least want to confront, and I was surprised to see that the Pale Lady not only got the
Okay, I can see these pictures. The other ones, like the baby one, wasn't really doing it for me. Right? It wasn't that scary to me. I mean, I guess if I saw this in the dark alley, of course I'd be scared shitless. But okay, these pictures, yes, these pictures are scary as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, dude, yeah. They got Boba Fett, the Pale Lady, the Thing, the Dead Woman, the Harlod. Oh my god, people are about to flame me. It's actually pronounced this. I'm like, oh, sorry, bro. It's late. I'm tired. Fuck off.
the most votes, but absolutely dominated her competition. Out of more than 30,000 voters, half of you said that she was the most terrifying. And listen, I'm not saying she isn't scary. I mean, look at her. She'd be the only woman on Tinder with 0 matches. The reason I was so surprised was because when you actually read the story she's featured in, she's not nearly as bad as these other monstrosities.
To be fair, this is my first video, so I have no clue what these stories are. None at all. I was never told this stuff. I mean, I guess it was early 2000s. I guess I was, but I never heard these stories before. I'm curious. I'll keep playing the video. People are telling me, keep playing the video. Stop talking. It's a reaction video. Get over it.
Least of all Harold, who you can learn all about by watching.
I'm dumb as fuck. It was just Harold. Harold. I thought it was some other shit like Harold or some shit. My bad. I should have just read it normally.
Last week's episode. With that in mind, I want to spend today refreshing your memories on who exactly the Pale Lady is by reviewing the tale that Alvin Schwartz wrote about her, comparing it to her appearance in the recent film adaptation of his series, and looking at the mysterious true story that he used as inspiration. First, though, I want to thank our sponsor who made this week's episode possible, Bespoke Post.
I'm sorry, bro, but you know, they ain't sponsored this video. They ain't sponsored this video, my boy.
Always a good deal. One of my favorite products they've...
Oh, fuck. Holy shit, this is a long fucking... Bro, this is not... I'm sorry, but they did not sponsor my video.
Links gift.
I know nothing. Blind right here.
The Pale Lady appears in a story called The Dream, which can be found on page 53 of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark 3. Kinda crazy that two of the most iconic monsters in the series didn't come along until 10 years after the first installment. The Dream follows a girl named Lucy Morgan, a traveling artist who found inspiration by visiting the country's most beautiful and historic cities. She had been staying in a lovely little town called Gardner for about a week when she was ready to move on to the next city called Kingston. The plan was to wake up bright and early the next morning and head out. But that night, she had a dream that changed everything. In the dream, she was walking up a long, dark staircase, and at the top was an old wooden door cracked open just enough for some light to shine through. She arrived at the top of the staircase, pulled the door open the rest of the way, then entered the next room. And what she saw there made her stomach drop. The carpet was cut into large squares that appeared to be trap doors, and the windows were fastened shut with thick iron nails sticking out of them.
The fuck?
Still in her dream, Lucy went to sleep inside of that bedroom, but she was suddenly trap doors, and the windows...
Oops. I meant to lower that shit, cause I think it's too loud. God, if you hear anything, like if you hear the like mouse clicking in my keyboard, it's because this mic literally picks up anything. I'm gonna move it back a little bit. There it is. Okay, I think I moved it back a little bit.
Were fastened shut with thick iron nails sticking out of them. Still in her dream, Lucy went to sleep inside of that bedroom, but she was suddenly woken up when she felt someone leaning over her bed. When she opened her eyes, a pale woman was standing over her. She had ghostly white skin, wide black eyes, and stringy black hair. Lucy was too petrified to move, but the woman didn't try to hurt her. She just whispered in Lucy's ear,
"This is an evil place. Flee while you can."
Then,
hey, yo, she OG though. Hold up. She low-key about to warn you, bruh. She low-key be warning you about the demon, dog. You better get out. Even the demon warned you about the demons. She's like level 1, bro. She's like level 1. Get out, bro, before the level 2 becomes a problem, dog. Hey, bro, she OG at least, you know? She be trying to warn you about that shit. She be looking out. She be looking out. Whew. You know what I'm saying? But still, I would have fucking shot. I still would, you know, gun on my side table. Fall. You can't tell me you wouldn't.
She put her hand on Lucy's arm, pushing her toward the exit. And in that moment, Lucy woke up. As you can imagine, there was no chance of her falling back asleep after a dream like that. So
it's time to fucking pack up and leave, motherfucker. We out. I guess it was more back in the day, though, I guess. But, bro, it is time to move out. It's like, if people move out for a spider, bitch, I'm moving out for a ghost. If a ghost tell me to leave this place, and that shit felt so real, I'm out, dude. I'm out. I'm outie. Or I'm getting a priest to pray for this shit. Fuck. Hell no.
She just laid in the fetal position for hours, sweating, trembling.
Bitch, what do you mean? Get out. What are you doing? Dumb people, I swear, bro. Like, bro, I'm leaving. Even if I was like, bro, I'm not leaving this house, bro, because this house was literally dropped the bends on this house. I'm not leaving. Bro, at least go to your friend's house or some shit, bro. Or go out to the bar or some shit. I'm not staying in that house anymore, bro. You got me fucked up. Like, what do you mean I'm not staying in this house? You got me messed up. I hope it's not too loud. If it is too loud, forgive me. Bro, I'd have been like, alright, bet you got me. You good looking out. Packing my shit, from taking clothes, packing my Jordans, packing my Nike and shit, my Kobe's. Yes, I got Kobe's. Fuck off. I'm not selling that shit because I know you can't buy them shits anywhere else. So don't even fucking ask. Alright? I got Kobe's. Fuck off. But I'm leaving. Ghost was trying to look out for you. Look out for you. Leave. Fuck.
And waiting for the sunrise to save her. When the morning did finally arrive, Lucy told her landlord that her plans had changed. She didn't go into detail about why, but she said that she couldn't bring herself to go to Kingston anymore. That's when the landlord suggested she go to Dorset. It was a pretty town, not
Go home! That's a one fucking meme.
Unlike Gardner, and it wasn't too far. Unable to get the pale lady's warning out of her head, Lucy figured that any town would be better than the one that she planned on, so she packed her car up with her things and headed out to Dorset. After arriving, she asked some locals about where she could find a cheap room for rent, and a man pointed her to a house at the top of a nearby hill. It looked pretty nice, and the man said that the old woman who owned it was as sweet as can be, so Lucy figured that she'd check it out. It turned out the stranger was right. The owner was a short, plump, motherly woman who seemed happy about the prospect of having some company for a week or so she offered to show Lucy the room right then and there. Lucy followed the woman up a long, dark staircase, and she thought, this looks awfully similar to the one from my dream. But she forced that thought out of her mind because a lot of antique houses look the same.
Bro, that's God telling at you, right? That's God.
She stopped dead in her tracks. It was the room from her dream, complete with carpet squares that looked like trapdoors and the windows that were nailed shut. The old woman politely asked Lucy what she thought.
Fuck no, dude. At that point in my head, I'm like, this ain't no dream anymore. This is a fucking premonition. Motherfucker, God was warning me, telling me, bro, do not go in this house. You gonna die if you go in this house. You finna catch death. You finna catch unalive in this hoe. You better fucking leave. Cause you can't just tell me you had a dream, then all of a sudden right? You see that shit in real life, and there's like, huh, I'm gonna go towards it, right? I mean, a lot of times it's like it's maybe just deja vu, but it's like if you vividly remember your dream, right, and you remember the place in great detail, and you run into that place the next day, bro, you have premonition. It's yourself. It's God. It's someone telling you yourself. It's yourself or it's God telling you, bro, watch out. Watch out. Bro, the second I saw that room, the second I saw the stairs, maybe not the stairs, I'm like, okay, it's a little weird, but we're gonna keep on pushing. Right? We're gonna keep on pushing. But as soon as I saw the room, I'm like, no, I'm gone. I'm gone. Sorry, thank you for their hospitality, but I'm fucking gone. I'm out of here. Let me pay you a little bit for your troubles, right? I'm gonna pay you like $1 or whatever the thing is, right? Back then. I pay you $1, right? But fuck no, dude. It's a premonition. Your dumbass can't even see that.
And Lucy replied that she wasn't so sure, because apparently she just doesn't have survival instincts. And the woman said,
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Leave. Damn, I think I just heard some eardrums. My bad.
she would leave her to think about it and go make them some tea. A few minutes went by when there was a knock on the door. Lucy opened it, expecting to see the old woman on the other side, but she was wrong. Standing in front of her was the pale lady from her dream.
Go
With the same
home.
ghost white skin, black eyes, and stringy black hair. This time, she didn't wait for the lady to say a word. Lucy Morgan grabbed her things, ran out the front door, and never looked back. Isn't it wild how
Good shit. Good shit. Bro. For real, bro. Dude, Pale Lady was for real looking at you like really bitch. I for real warned your ass a day ago not to show the fuck up. And you still showed up. You dumbass. Like, the second you saw the room, you didn't leave? That's crazy. That's crazy. Bro, you... Dude, the Pale Lady for real would be warning motherfuckers. Like, bro, she is telling you, get the fuck out. Bro. Like, come on, bruh. You cannot be telling me that shit is not, like, them trying to help your ass. I bet the Pale Lady is, like, a victim of some sort, and she's trying to warn other people, trying to tell you, do not go in this hoe.
a story where nothing of major consequence happens can be so unsettling? Like, let's be honest, if you were to list out the events of this plot line, it'd be boring as hell. Girl has scary dream, girl moves to a new town, girl sees ghost, girl runs away. It's all about the delivery of those details, which Schwartz gives just enough of for the story to make sense, then allows our fear center to do the rest. And similar to the Harold story, we're left with some questions that the darkest parts of our imagination has to come up with answers to. So the stronger your imagination, the scarier the story becomes.
Fuck no.
Who is the Pale Lady? Does she work for the old woman, or is she maybe a victim? And if the latter, what exactly
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think she's a victim trying to warn your ass. Cause like, why would something like that be warning you about it? You know? In my head, I'm like, okay, this thing is trying to warn me. This lady was a victim, right? It looks like she probably drowned or something. I guess because she's so pale, so she probably drowned, or the lady would drown in the tub or something. I'm just saying, like this was a demon, not a demon or a victim, like a ghost victim, telling you, girl, I was in the same situation. Girl, you gotta go. You gotta go. I'm saving you. Go. And maybe pray for me later so I can go to heaven.
The old woman do to her? And if Lucy didn't run away, would she have suffered the same fate? And let's not forget those trapdoor carpet squares. I'm having a hard time picturing what that would even look like, and the horrors that could be contained underneath. But do you see what I meant in the intro? The Pale Lady herself is really not all that scary, unless you're judging her by her appearance, you misogynists. My bad.
Bitch.
I didn't realize I was telling a story to Andrew Tate. I've personally always found the Pale Lady to be a big, beautiful woman because I judge by what's on the inside. That's right, ladies. I'm a hero. Nah, for real though, the Pale Lady actually is kind of a hero. If it weren't for her warning, Lucy Morgan would have probably drank some drugged tea and woke up in a cage. But I can't say the same for her movie counterpart, though I do think the filmmakers incorporated the caring element of her character in a really creative way. Just like how we all read these stories as kids and were scared of them coming true.
Who's we? I don't think that's we. I feel like I'm the only person that just hasn't seen. It makes me feel like I'm the only person has seen this before. Like, you know, it's like, Who else has seen this? Like in the comments, like if people actually comment, who actually saw this? Who actually was told these stories as a kid? 'Cause I know I haven't. Dude, not me.
The film's characters have the same fear, only in their case, the stories actually are coming true as a result of the curse of Sarah Bellows. When it comes to the Pale Lady, reminiscent of how Lucy Morgan had that premonition, Chuck is also visited by the woman in his dreams, and she delivers a very similar message.
That fat pale lady keeps whispering, "This is an evil place. Run away while you still can."
And like how Lucy's dream occurs in a very specific room, Chuck's happens in the Red Room, which he caught a glimpse of when he was hiding in the old Bellows house.
Bro,
but in
that's
his
a Wattwaller.
desperate attempt to avoid
You
any
finna die.
rooms with a slight red hue, or that even have the word red in their name, he dooms himself to the exact fate he fears when he's caught trespassing in the psych ward at the biggest hospital I've ever seen and triggers an alarm. Suddenly, the pure white walls turn red, and at the end of the hall, he sees her. The Pale Lady slowly walks toward him, hardly able to contain her excitement. Chuck tries to run away, but the halls are a maze, and every exit is locked. Before long, he finds
Who's stuck in a maze? Copyrighted.
himself surrounded on all sides by the Pale Lady, and she wraps her arms around him, absorbing his entire being into hers and disappearing before his friends can save him. Now, the reason I say this was a creative twist on her character is that the Pale Lady doesn't actually seem evil here, nor does she do anything violent in the movie. She basically hugs the guy to death in what appears to be an attempt to calm him down. It's almost like she cares about his well-being. And when you consider her role in the original story, I think that makes more sense than if they would have made her an evil, bloodthirsty monster. But remember, when Alvin Schwartz wrote this series, he didn't come up with these tales off the top of his head. He scoured the globe for the spookiest tales he could find and then adapted them perfectly to give children nightmares for decades. And the Pale Lady comes from a bizarre, sad, and supposedly true story from the 19th century.
Okay, I guess.
Now, for those who want to research these stories on their own,
I don't know where to find the. I mean, I guess we can find it on Prime, I guess, but I don't know. I never seen this movie. I think I found like TikToks about it, but I don't know, nothing I've seen before. I don't know, and I mean, I don't mind scary movies, but I don't know. I just never seen this before. Like the first time I'm really hearing about it.
you can actually find the sources that Alvin Schwartz used in this section called Notes and Sources. It's found in the back of every book. In the case of the Pale Lady, Schwartz mentions two sources of inspiration: the folklore of prophetic dreams and a haunting experience that English writer Augustus Hare details in his autobiography. We'll start with the autobiography because it'll segue nicely into the discussion of prophetic dreams. So just to be very clear, the author in question, Augustus Hare, did not have any otherworldly experiences himself. He was told this story in the 1800s by a family friend who he considered an aunt, Mrs. Gaskell. Mrs. Gaskell was told this story by a family friend of her own, Mrs. Hibbert, who in turn heard it from someone who knew the victim personally.
My best friend's sister's boyfriend's brother's girlfriend heard from this guy who knows this kid.
For real, for real.
Saw Ferris pass out at 31 Flavors last night. I guess it's pretty serious.
And the only reason that Hibbert shared it with Gaskell was
I found it on a TikTok, from another dude's TikTok, from a stitch of a TikTok, and on a Joey Swole video. It's literally, dude, like, I guess, but like, how real could you get? I mean, I guess he wasn't even trying to go for realism. I guess he was just trying to be like, fuck it, it's a scary story. I can make money off this shit. I mean, he got his bag, didn't he? He got his bag. Props, he got his bag.
Gaskell was a writer, so Mrs. Hibbert trusted that she would remember it accurately, and apparently Gaskell felt the same way about Augustus Hare. I know that's a lot of names to remember, but I have good news. You can forget all of them immediately and it won't make a difference. I just wanted to be transparent about where exactly this story comes from,
that was loud, my
because
bad.
it's very deep in Augustus's autobiography, and it's pretty random that he included it at all. Anyway, this true story follows a young woman named Mrs. Alcock, who I'm going to call Elizabeth, and her husband, Major Alcock, who I'll be referring to as the Major. Elizabeth and the Major were a newly married couple, and the Major was around 10 to 15 years older than Elizabeth. He was an accomplished, wealthy man who desired a pretty young thing for his wife. Unfortunately, he was actually a great husband. Every need that Elizabeth had was satisfied, and she had nothing but positive things to say about it.
Oh God, don't say this to the feminists. They'd be like, an actual good husband and you're happy? No, we can't have that. Come to us. Well, you're not really happy. You're fooled into thinking you're happy. Dude, for real.
Him to her neighbors. She still did her fair share of the work for the household, though. The major had bought them a large estate in Leicestershire,
I would too.
and she was responsible for taking care of the place.
I would too.
She was happy to do it, but during hunting season, the estate would be open to hunters looking for lodging, and when things got busy, it could be a lot to manage on her own. According to Elizabeth's neighbors, the two old women who Augustus refers to as the Mrs. T, as in two Mrs. T's, she was a bright, talkative, beautiful young lady when she and the major first moved in. But over the next couple of months, her demeanor changed entirely. Her eyes always looked dreary and sad, her skin was pale, and eventually she stopped interacting with her neighbors. This had been going on for a while when the Mrs. T's decided to reach out and ask if something was wrong and how they could help. But even though they expected something to be wrong, they never could have anticipated what Elizabeth told them. Elizabeth told them that since moving to Leicestershire, she'd been seeing a man's face everywhere. On the hunters who stay at the lodge, in her dreams, she couldn't
escape.
It's
like the Smile movie.
We, the readers, are never given a description of the man's face, but we're told Elizabeth described it in great detail to the Mrs. T. Lucky them. And she told them that she knew he was going to hurt her. She would later tell the doctors the exact same thing, and they diagnosed her with phantasmagoria, which sounds like the name of a strip club for ghosts, but is basically when someone has dreamlike visions. You see, before marrying the major, Elizabeth had lived a cushy life and was devoid of responsibility. Her parents were extremely wealthy, and every one of her wants and needs was taken care of whenever she asked. The doctors claimed that her sudden transition to a new location where she was immediately burdened with all these responsibilities was more than her brain and body could handle. Or, as Hare puts it, over-fatigue and unwanted excitement had settled into this peculiar form of delusion. Well, the major had no problem dropping everything for his wife's health, so they closed up the estate and went traveling abroad, which appeared to have completely cured her delusions. At first. It was a few months into their trip when they arrived in Rome.
Why don't they just close the lodge to hunters? You know, it's like hunting season. It's like, oh, sorry, no, yeah, we can't have any more hunters. Sorry, we're no longer giving lodging to other people. Why don't they just do that? I'm pretty sure that would just work the same. And like I said, I mean, how much different is that? I mean, yeah, the new location, but she was practically still taken care of hand and foot, to be honest. So it's like, I don't see how that would be a difference, you know?
That she had another incident. As she was getting out of the carriage to enter the hotel, she saw the mysterious man's face in the crowd. Poor Elizabeth screamed, fainted, and had to be carried into the hotel room. The major called in some doctors who diagnosed her with overfatigue from her travels, and she was ordered to spend the next few weeks resting. Once again, this appeared to do the trick, but Elizabeth was caught in a kind of loop. Every time she would start to feel better and get active again, she would see the man's face in a crowd or on a random passerby and go into one of these attacks. This continued for about 9 months until the spring of 1848, when the major had to leave Rome on a personal matter. He knew that his wife wasn't up for any kind of travel, so he asked her to stay in the city. Given her unstable track record, she was terrified at being away from him.
But for real, bro. Can you imagine having your wife and then just start screaming during the meeting? I'm not gonna scream. Fuck off. I'm not gonna scream. No, right now. But yeah, I don't know. What would you do? I feel like I would still want her with me though. You know, I wouldn't trust her to be by herself. You know, like what if she does some dumb shit? You know, because like she has an attack obviously, but still, I wouldn't trust her to be by herself. No, hell no. I would have taken her with me. Like hell, I would have taken her with me.
But all her begging and pleading did was...
You can, I don't know what you guys would do. I would take her with me.
...convince him further that she couldn't handle it, so the major left without her. He returned to Rome in just 2 weeks, but when he arrived, he learned that Elizabeth was missing. There was no trace of her at all. She never checked out of her hotel, but all of her belongings had been taken out of the room. And I'm sorry to say that the major never got an answer about what happened to her. although there were some rumors. On the day of her disappearance, some women who knew Elizabeth were walking in front of the Archbasilica of St. John Lateran when they saw a carriage driving rapidly toward the Porta San Giovanni. And in this carriage was Elizabeth. She was sobbing and wringing her hands as if her heart was breaking, and by her side sat a strange man with the very same face that she had so often described. So this is the story that Alvin Schwartz claims he used as inspiration when he wrote The Dream. But if you're like me, you're probably thinking, how? I mean, the stories don't have...
like, what? That doesn't make sense. So a woman sees this thing, this man, like Smile, if you've seen the movie Smile and Smile, like Smile 2, I think just came out in theaters. But, right, where this woman sees this person smiling all the time, but I guess in this point it's just another man with a fucking butt ugly face. I'm just like, but how though? Like, he's gonna explain it. People telling me to play the fucking video.
Have that much in common besides the ominous figure appearing in a dream, and the dream portion is only mentioned once in Hare's writing. But I guess that's really all it takes, right? A seed of inspiration can grow
Yeah,
into
I would say
something
so, yeah.
entirely new. Besides,
true.
Schwartz also had centuries worth of folklore and myth about prophetic dreams to refer to as well. If you're a longtime watcher of Messed Up Origins, then you might even be able to name 2 myths that belong in this category. My Norse nerds watching will no doubt think of the dreams that Odin's son Balder had about his own death. Our Old Norse texts essentially describe Balder as the personification of perfection, and him being killed by Loki and Hod ultimately leads to Ragnarok, the apocalypse. But those more into Greek myth might remember the story of Queen Alcyone and her husband King
I thought this was gonna be a
Ceyx.
scary video,
When
I'm not gonna lie.
Ceyx was killed in a shipwreck, Hera felt so sorry for Alcyone that she ordered Morpheus, the god of dreams, to alert the queen of her husband's death. So Morpheus disguised himself as the king and visited Alcyone in a dream to deliver this message. But in my opinion, the tales that Schwartz and Hare tell have more in common with English and Celtic folklore than mythology. Specifically, the folklore of night hags. Night hags, or night mara, are demons or witches in Celtic folklore that could absorb a person's life force while they slept. They would enter the bedroom at night and sit on their chests, crushing them to the point of near suffocation. In fact,
Oh, I guess it's like Freddy Krueger in a way. I guess they would get that shit from Freddy Krueger, I guess. Well, no, I guess Freddy Krueger would have gotten it from them. If you fall asleep, he would be able to go into your dreams and fuck you up. I don't want to steal your life first, but he would be able to kill you in your dream and
their
kill you in
name,
real life.
Mara, was an Old English word meaning crusher, and the term night mara is where we get the word nightmare. Looking at this through a modern lens, it seems obvious that night mara, or night hags, were a symptom of sleep paralysis. There's the inability to move, the crushing weight on the chest, and the ineffable terror the victims experience. Of course, people living prior to the 1900s had no idea there could be a scientific explanation for it, so naturally they assumed witchcraft was to blame and tried placing charms by their beds to ward them off, like horseshoes wrapped in flannel and hagstones. And while this may have worked for some due to the placebo effect, most victims were totally unaware of the factors affecting their quality of sleep and continued to suffer from sleep paralysis as a result. Then, between the utter exhaustion they felt and the fear that supernatural powers were at play, their condition would only grow worse. Their mental state would deteriorate so that their delusions would exacerbate and they would waste away, appearing fatigued, pale, and skinny as a skeleton, just like how Elizabeth is described. And when you think about it, that's pretty similar to the Pale Lady. I mean, she did have more cushion for the pushin', but there's definitely some overlap. She almost appears to be a victim of sleep paralysis as well as a perpetuator of it simultaneously. But that's the beauty of Schwartz's writing. Very few of his stories fall neatly into any category, and they always leave us with more questions than answers. Speaking of questions, I want to ask you to share your thoughts on this tale and the
Dub video. I actually kind of enjoyed that. I thought it'd be a more scary video, like more scary story, but I low-key kind of messed with it. Let me know if you guys want to hear more of these stories, because I low-key messed with it. But I thought it was looking gonna be like horror stories about the Pale Lady, but dub video. Go check out his stuff, like I said. John Solo, check out his stuff. Subscribe while you're down there. Subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video.